Hello, hello, hello. We've just been chatting away and then suddenly we go live and hello people. Seeing lots of people coming in here. We are here in the BrightLocal local search clinic where we are going to be answering your burning questions about reviews. So you will see there is a little box here where you can submit your questions. You can read questions that have already been submitted. And don't forget to upvote your favorite questions because those are the order that I will probably be reading them out as long as I can make sense of them. So make them nice and succinct, please. The idea here is to get through as many questions as possible with our glorious, glorious and knowledgeable guests that we have here. So a really quick intro just to say, again, welcome to the Search Clinic. I am Claire Carlisle. I'm the local search expert at BrightLocal. I don't know where Brightle is. And I am here today with Dani and with Crystal, and they are going to introduce themselves. Dani, go.
All right, I'm Dani Owens. I'm a local SEO consultant. My company is Pigzilla. I've been doing this a while, and I pretty much do anything local SEO related. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming along. Lovely, Crystal.
Oh, no. Can everyone hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Well, I am Crystal Horton. I am a customer finder. One of the things that I absolutely enjoy is helping businesses get their phone to ring. And as my clients say, dominate local. I am into tech SEO. I'm a Google business product expert, as well as local service ads is my jam. So I am a Google partner.
Oh, we lost you just for the last bit. You said, I am a Google partner, and then we lost you for a sec. Crystal, can you hear us? Oh, we'll wait for Crystal to come back in. Like I said, the aim here is to get through as many questions as possible. The session is recorded. So as soon as we have finished recording, it's all going to go live on the URL that you are currently on. We'll also be, I think it goes onto YouTube, and there'll be a blog post the week after. So you'll be able to follow up with all of this. It's lovely to see everyone in the chat with their lots of things to say, but don't forget, if you have got a question, don't pop it in the chat, pop it in the Q&A box so people can see it and we can upvote them. So without further ado, let us crack on with the questions. So we'll start with the first one I've got here, 5 upvotes. Oh, actually, what I want to do is, before we get on with those questions, I'm just going to ask our Crystal and Dani to give us a really concise answer to, when we talk about online reviews, what do we mean? And then what's important about reviews?
All right.
So Dani, let's default.
Go. All right. Online reviews. My definition of that is different websites where you can go leave reviews about a specific business. Generally, they're a directory style type. So some places could be Facebook, Yelp, Google, Yellow Pages, things like that. There's also testimonials, which are a little different. They're left by your customers, but they're reviews that you've posted on your own website and you have control over. So sometimes those are also considered online reviews. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so in a nutshell, that's what I would call this.
Cool. And why are they important? Why do businesses need them?
Well, they are basically showing how well you perform, like a simple glimpse, a summary of how well you perform as a business according to your customers, right? So, you know, other customers that are searching are going to be looking for your reputation and evaluate you to decide if they want to contact you or visit your business. So it's very important if you're thinking of it that way.
Okay. Cool. So online reviews are places that reviews exist online, including sometimes people having like testimonials that they might include on their website. And reviews are important because, you know, they reflect what customers think about you as a business. And I suppose consumers trust other consumers. So that's brilliant. We'll start with the top question here, which is, And we're still waiting for Crystal here. Hopefully her interweb will kick back in and the mice will start running around in the little wheel to power it. What are the best ways to ask for reviews from your customers?
Well, there's quite a few ways. There's QR codes that you can hand out on business cards or flyers of any type. There's text messages that people have started to use to ask for it. To be honest, I like email still. Email is very easy. It's easy to track, who you've sent the emails to and who has left a review or hasn't, that kind of thing. So, from a high level view, emails, text messages, QR codes.
And is there any sort of, any situation where you would be face-to-face asking, or is there a best time to ask for reviews? What do you think?
Yes. Yeah, you can definitely ask face-to-face. Maybe when a customer's checking out, at the counter, any kind of word of mouth encouragement you can do as well.
Mm-hmm.
What was the second part of your question?
Is there a best? Because that's a question that I get asked. Is there a best time to ask for a review? I
think so.
Yeah.
My personal opinion is right when you have satisfied the customer and they're very happy. They're very motivated to leave a review, or at least I've been that way. This service was great and you're willing to go the extra 2 minutes to go leave a review.
Yeah.
A week or two later, it's like, maybe I'll get to it.
Yeah.
So right then in the moment when you can tell they're happy and excited, that's what I would do.
Yeah, and I guess it might be industry specific or service specific, isn't it? So think about if you've got a hello, are you there, Crystal? Hi, can we hear you? Hello. Did you hear any? I'm wondering if Crystal's got anything to add there.
Hello.
Can we hear you? Can you hear us? Crystal?
I can hear you. I hope you can hear me.
We can hear you now. We just went through what are the best ways to ask for reviews from your customers. You probably didn't hear anything we said, but I'm sure that you've got some very valuable things to contribute here. Oh, Crystal. Hello, did you hear any of that?
I'm so, I don't know what's happening.
Do you know what? We're just going to crack on with the questions. Now, Kurt has written a very long question, which I will attempt to get nice and short. Here we go. There's been an increase in customer reviews being filtered by Google. The reviews are from real customers and are not being submitted from the business location or the IP. So things that would cause them to be filtered. The reviews are sometimes viewable only by the customer. Also, the business is not notified about the review. Are there any best practices we can tell customers about how to help prevent their reviews from being filtered? And does it matter if this is their first and only review? So, bit of a nuanced question there. Have we got any thoughts on that?
I have a few, but I want Crystal to go ahead and hop in here. So if she can hear,
I think Crystal's definitely frozen Crystal. We've got a frozen Crystal here. So we've got a very moving Dani. So we're gonna go with the Dani's thoughts on this.
Okay. Well, I prepared for this answer, so I did a little research before, and I found some comments from Ben Fisher and Joy Hawkins, which are product experts as well. And these are a few reasons why the reviews could be filtered. There's theories. We don't know for sure, right? Basically, it seems like Google has tightened up their review filter process to be more strict because people have probably been complaining. So Ben did a little test, and he noticed that about 70% of the reviews that were being filtered in his small test were because they were sharing a link from the Google Business Profile dashboard, instead of maybe having people search for the business or something. So it's a theory and a possibility.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's something to test out.
Yeah.
And then Joy had mentioned that if you're offering free Wi-Fi to guests, and they kind of are all associated with the same IP, that could be an issue. But that comment, the user said they didn't do that. If the user left a review where they're not actually located near the business. So like if I'm from California and I left a review in Florida, maybe that's more likely to get filtered because I'm not actually there and it's more suspicious.
Wow. That is interesting. I hadn't heard that one before.
Yes, I have. If we can share a link, I could share a link to the article too.
Cool.
And then also if you're using education or school category on your Google business profile, those are the other possibilities.
Wow. Cool.
That make it more likely.
Wow, that's a lot of stuff, isn't it? If did you see anything in the forum with so if you're a business and this is affecting you, what would be the next step, do you know, for a business to try and sort that out?
Yes. Hey, Crystal, you look much better. I think it's going to work.
Hey,
All
Crystal,
right.
Crystal, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Right, we have just had a little chat about this problem with an increasing number of reviews being filtered out. And Dani has just shared some information with us from Ben and with from Joy, saying maybe it's the link that you shared to generate the review. Maybe it's because they're all leaving a review from the same IP address. And Brian, we will get to that, what you just said there. Brian is just saying, can you repeat what you said about sending the link from inside GMB? So when we say that, are we talking about the short URL, which pops up the leave a review box? Is it better to encourage your user to search for our business name plus location and leave a review? Do you know what I'm talking? Do you know what I mean? So basically, Brian is saying, what do I need to do? Can I use that short URL, or do I need to get people to Google me?
I would suggest to get people to Google you.
Okay. Killing two birds with one stone and also encouraging brand search.
Yeah.
Yes, that too.
So if you search for my brand plus primary keyword plus location, that would be awesome, and click through to my profile.
Love it. Yes, there you go.
And then we said, Crystal, if you've still got problems with your reviews being filtered, what should a business do next in the support forum to try and get some help to get these, real reviews to show? How should they ask for support?
Okay, yes, definitely. If you have screenshots of the reviews, make sure you keep those in a folder. You keep that handy. You can create an Excel spreadsheet just to start timing things, but also look at stuff beyond what you're seeing, right? Perhaps that reviewer has their settings from public to private, and that might be why the review is not showing up.
Okay, right. Wow. If someone wanted to export all of their reviews, so they have like a record every month or something, what would they do? What should they do?
Go to BrightLocal.
And that's and then you just export your reviews from there. So you're like, okay, the start of the month I had this many and this was my average.
Well, I use BrightLocal's reputation manager tool because it pulls all of that information in, not just from Google, but everywhere else, Yelp, Facebook, you name it, BBB. And so it pulls that in there. But I like the graph too, because it shows over time how many reviews you have per month, per day. It breaks it out. And so that you're able to monitor those things. Plus, here, I'll put the plug in too, but plus BrightLocal also sends that weekly email that shows if you're up or if you're down reviews. So you're able to go through and do your research if you start looking into that.
Brilliant. I'm just looking at the chat here. Then we've got like some interesting questions like Jose and Tony. You're asking questions, and that's fantastic. Could you pop them in the Q&A box so we can tackle them in there? Because we definitely want to answer them. They look really good. We've got a question here from Michelle Kelly, and she says, one of the issues we are seeing is that many people fill out the NPS score, so we might need to clarify what that means, but rarely ever go on to leave a review on any of the actual review sites. Is this something we could bypass in the future and just send people straight to Google or wherever when requesting reviews? Who would like to answer that one?
Crystal, you haven't had much time, but if you want, I'll hop in. It's up to you.
Oh, sure. It's fine. I'm not exactly sure what NPS is or what you mean by that.
So net promoter score. So I think that's like it's like a generic point based on
So is this almost like review gating is what it sounds like? They're first going to a link and then you're choosing one or the other?
In tools like Gather Up, I'm a little experienced with this. They will allow you to collect the NPS score, which is kind of like a reputation score you could use internally. and then you could, like a survey basically, and then you can send them to leave a review. So they don't currently do review gating on GatherUp. It'll just send them there either way. But long story short, you can bypass it easily. It just depends if you want the NPS score or not for your own information. So if they're not going through the extra step, you know, Crystal, I'm sure you would agree that they could probably just bypass that. It just depends on if you need it and why.
I would say check your settings. See
I'd say,
that toggle that on or off.
Yeah, check with whichever like third-party tool you're using to manage your reviews. But I think just one thing that I would say on that is, you know, reviews are more than just a thing that sits on a review site. Reviews are things that allow you to understand what your business does well and what your business doesn't do very well. And it's not always just about reviews are good for ranking or whatever. So if you want to just power on and just think, I just want reviews, you miss out on some other very valid parts of the review process.
I'd say reviews are mini verified case studies from your customers.
I like that.
I say that they're a window into the soul of your business.
That too.
You know, something to add too is, I don't know this for sure, but if you're asking questions, you know, survey or trying to get a net promoter score, maybe you have too many questions in there that are causing them to get tired and not want to move on to leave a review. I don't know if that's a possibility to kind of shorten that process. Something else to try.
I agree. Clicks are definitely your enemy. So right now, you know, if you click on that review link that comes from your dashboard, it goes straight to the rate us and review us box. One click, woohoo, everybody's happy. It's super easy. But if you have them search for it, like you've got to guide the customer through that process, because first you have to type in the business name. Once you get to the business name, whether it's maps or it's search, you then have to scroll down until you can find review. Then you click on review. So you're already 4 clicks in, right? Which is very frustrating. And then you have to kind of maneuver things around in order to get the box to show up and leave your statement. So by that time, somebody just wants to say they did great. Post.
It is, what have I got here? Is a 1-star review something to worry about?
I'd say
I'm going to say, because we've all got things to add. So I'm going to say, Dani, go for it. Now you're drinking.
Well, yeah, drinking what is the question? So 1-star review is something to worry about. Okay, you have to check out the context of that. Is it just one 1-star review and you have 100 great ones? Then no. If all you have is 1-star reviews and there's many of them, then yes, that's a concern. If you only have one review and it's a 1-star, I would still say that's a concern. You don't have any other reviews to offset it. So yes, and reviews past that, you need to check the reviews because you care about the business, and is the business doing good? Is there feedback from the customers you care about? If you only care about the review because you want people to, you know, not be upset at your business or think you're great, that's one thing, but you should really care about the reviews because they're leaving you honest feedback. So you should definitely care about that, I think.
I love that. Thank you. Crystal?
Yes. What are your goals? Why are you asking for reviews? I mean, if you receive a 1-star review, look at your team goals. Can this help benefit the company? Can you perfect something on the back end in order to help there? Or is there something wrong with the product that you can then fix and offer something else for them to try out again? Like, look at your goals, really take a look at your goals and see how this review can best help you, and maybe say thank you. Thanks for leaving me a 1-star review.
Lovely.
Like it.
So you're not necessarily going in and like, I want to make this a 5-star, I'm going to turn it around. But it's more, you know, sometimes you can be like, I'm going to just turn this around for the people that come next because of the way that I answer this. Which is another discussion, which is I love reading responses to reviews, how I can while away the winter nights doing that.
Do you immediately go read the 5-star reviews, or do you read the responses to the 1-star? Right?
1-star,
Those are your
1-star straight away, because you're like, you know, are you actually managing this, and what are you saying? Do I love you or don't I love you? Okay,
are you crazy or not?
Yeah. Am I going to pay you money for something or not? Should you use keywords in your review responses? Do keywords in reviews help rankings for Crystal?
Yes. Yes and yes.
So there's two different parts there. I think the person is saying, does me using as a business keywords in my review response help my rankings?
I would look at it, yes. Why not? Because you're explaining what your business is, but don't come from the mindset of I'm stuffing this keyword because I know I have to, or because I'm trying to trick some system. Come to it as reading the review and providing more to this case story, more of the story. What can you share that isn't against HIPAA guidelines or client confidential guidelines, and respond to it. Tell the story. Like, thank you so much. What's your goal? Calls or appointments, whatever your goal is. Thank you so much for calling us. Put your, your goal in there. We're super excited to help you with keyword plus city services, and then proceed on. Like, it was great that we were able to help identify this and help you with that. And it's been an honor. We're super excited that you've had a 5-star experience with our company. And what's your company name?
That's a nice
Crystal
response.
clearly needs to write all of our review responses. She's very good at it. Dani, have you got anything to add to that one? Keywords.
Yes, keywords and reviews. I have read many articles that say that it does help rankings. I've never read done a test study on it myself, but I would say that sounds like a good idea. So encouraging people to leave keywords and reviews. There's templates you can find on the internet that basically ask questions, kind of like what Crystal was talking about in her response about, what service did we offer for you? Please go into detail. You can kind of guide them, because that way they'll naturally leave keywords. Yeah. But here's a side tip I thought about. There's a place in town where I want to get my eyebrows done, but they do many things like massage. They do lots of things. So I'm trying to look through the reviews to see the word eyebrows and see if anybody's mentioned somebody by name, like this clinician or technician is the best, because I want to get an appointment with them. So that's another benefit of trying to get these keywords in the reviews. It's very useful for people. And to me, that's something that I do. So I'm assuming other people may do that as well.
I've never done. I like that. That's really interesting. Another thing about search queries and popular search queries in reviews is that reviews can be pulled into justifications. So if you are getting someone that is, you've got a SERP that includes justifications. If you've got a review that says best, family-friendly diner serving sweet potato fries, and that person has searched for that, then that is likely to be used as a justification by Google. So there's lots of real positives. And remember, it's not always exact match. Google isn't, when we talk about keywords, we're talking about topics and themes, and we're talking about entities. We're not talking about exact match keywords. So we need to inform our own strategy about how we talk about things based on that. The next question: are there any platforms worth focusing your review strategy on over others? I find it difficult to get Facebook reviews, but not sure whether to focus my strategy on this platform or not. Either of you?
Okay. What is your target audience, and where do they hang out? Is it Google? Is it Facebook? Is it Yelp? And the type of customers that you want, where are they hanging out? And start focusing on that platform.
Okay, that's nice.
Solid.
I have something that intersects with what Crystal said. So now I just lost my thought. What was the question? I got nervous.
You had a really interesting thing to say, Dani, before we started.
Yes, but what about? Come on, Crystal.
What's important? What's important to your platform?
Yes, where to leave your reviews, where to get them. Okay, so another thing I recommend is Google your business name and see on the first page what places are showing up. So a lot of times you'll see Facebook or Yelp showing up, and the little review stars are showing up in the SERPs. So I think personally, in addition to what Crystal said, go see what shows up on the first page or two of Google and get reviews on those places for sure.
And also another one, So looking at the SERP itself, like your organic links, but also go and look at your business profile and go and look at your competitors' business profile and other places in that niche to see what Google is pulling in for the featured reviews from other websites.
Yes.
Because it's quite likely if there is a third-party review site that has got review markup on it, and if it goes into your business profile, then, oh my gosh, I've got 2 out of 5 because of this awful review on a website and I've got no idea what it even is. I think Google used to pull in from a lot of different sources, and now there's a much smaller set. But especially if you work within niches, go and have a little look at that and see what your competitors have and what you have, and make sure you get good reviews in all those places. Otherwise, it will look awful in your business profile. Okay, how can I get people to write longer reviews, or at least include some text in their reviews?
That one's kind of tough. I don't know. Do you have any ideas, Crystal?
Okay. In one of the articles that I wrote that I think was already posted here on how to get reviews, I always ask, what benefits have you received and why would you recommend us? Or, recommend talking about the services that they hired you for, possibly incorporating the type of service they received from the agent that they worked with. And ask good 4 questions about things that you'd like them to leave in reviews. And hey, you might notice keywords being left in the reviews too.
Just imagine, wow, as if by magic, just asking a normal question led to people to leave great text. Wow.
I'm thinking also, once again, the timing of when you're asking, it depends on if they're motivated or not. And then I think a little blurb about your business, maybe you've been struggling through COVID and how important the reviews are for your business. I'm local, independent, I'm competing against, Walmart or whatever the case is. So kind of reaching people's heart might kind of get them to spend the extra 30 seconds.
I love this, where we're really, we're moving beyond, let's just talk about nuts and bolts of reviews. Let's actually think about consumer behavior, and let's think about our target market, and let's think about what resonates, and let's think about how world events are changing how our consumers or our target market or consumers, people actually interact with each other. So I love, sometimes you'll read stuff which is just like, we really appreciate a review. It helps other people make good decisions, and hopefully they'll choose us or whatever. But you can see through the lines, it's just like, you just want me to read a review, write a review, versus actually this is a compelling request from you that I would
need your help, basically.
Do you report on reviews for your clients? Where's that one gone? Just Jenny, it's disappeared. Do you report on reviews for your clients? And if so, how? Crystal.
Okay. Yes. And I log into Google Business Dashboard. I go to the reviews and we flag it first, just to start the process and see what Google's response is. Well, let me backtrack though. There are policies, content policies. There's Google guidelines for reviews. Of course, we review that first. And then also when you flag the review and it gives you those options of how to flag it in the Google dashboard or why you're flagging this review, it goes into an explanation. So make sure that when you're flagging this review, it follows what you're flagging it for. You can't just flag because you're upset that this is a 1-star review and there's no reason behind it, that it doesn't follow guidelines.
Cool. Dani?
Well, I'm a little confused. Were you saying how to report reviews that are bad, or report on reviews? I started
asking a question and then it sort of disappeared from view, and I'm like, I can't even remember what the question was. And because of that, we're just going to move on to the next one.
Okay.
And Dani, you're gonna answer this for us, because I feel like you're very clever and you have very many wise words.
Oh boy, don't say that.
Now, Dani, this is for you. Can I incentivize people to write reviews, not by paying them, just by saying that anyone that writes a review gets entered into a prize draw or similar?
I would recommend not doing that. It is still an incentive of some kind. And some sites are very strict about that. Yelp, and then maybe Google's getting more strict lately. So I would say no. Obviously, you can do whatever you want, but I think a best practice would probably be no.
No. Okay. Tell us more about that, please, Crystal. And if you could also tell us maybe if there's a difference between platforms and what you're allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do.
Ooh, I'm not too sure about the difference with platforms because I am a big Google fan.
All about the Google, aren't you? I think Yelp is no, you're not even allowed to ask for Yelp, are you? Is it? Dan, come on.
I don't think you're supposed to.
Okay. Anyway, someone might tell us about if Yelp is important to them. Tell us what you were going to tell us, Crystal.
I was going to say definitely no. Do not incentivize for reviews. That can always come back and bite you. Where I've seen somebody incentivizing for reviews, and they actually left that in the review. Thank you so much for the ice cream. Here's the 5-star review.
Yeah, because they've asked for a 5-star review. It's just like,
and so then the panic sets in, and how do we move this review? But you can't.
Yeah. No, it's like so basically that is another thing to keep in mind, isn't it? Is before you start your review and feedback loop acquisition strategy, or whatever you call it within your business, think about, right, what can I actually do within each of those platforms if I'm asking across platforms, and don't leave dodgy signs that you've done dodgy things places. Yeah. It's not a good idea, isn't it? In the chat, we've just had Leyland Brandt just said, Yelp says you can't ask for a review, period. So that was...
let me throw something in there. Mike says that you can ask customers to check in on Yelp or leave pictures, which might encourage them to leave a review. So technically, that might be a way.
It's a backhanded way of doing it, or
yes. And then I've heard a tip from Phil Rozek a while back that you can upload your email list into Yelp and see who is a Yelp user. Oh no! What happened? What happened?
I don't know. We heard you. We could hear you.
I just disappeared and came back. Okay. So you might be able to reach out to Yelp reviewers that are already active. Maybe you invite them to come check out your place. Maybe you ask them to check in or leave a picture and see what happens naturally. Okay.
Well, I like that. So if it's important to you as part of your strategy, then there are possible ways that are okay to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got Louise Moore, who I know, and I don't know why I know Louise, but I recognize that name. We've had some reviews disappear because they used the link we provided that came from the GBP profile. Is there still a bug, or was there ever a bug using this Google supplied quick link? And are reviews being filtered out when they're provided? Oh, we've covered this already, but we'll just say yes. Provided on a kiosk device if the business reception that uses the business IP address. Thanks. So we've said yes, both of those things could lead to your reviews being filtered.
Yes.
There we are.
Out.
There you go. Quickest answer ever. Mm-hmm. How do I report a review I suspect to be fake? Either of you. You
write a letter to the president?
Yeah.
No, Crystal, this is your expertise, so go ahead, because I haven't reported many of them, but I know you can use the forum and GMB support. So what's the best way?
So definitely, if you suspect that there is a review, I would encourage you to go to your agency that you're working with or the reputation management company, and they'll be able to guide you on next steps and what to do that way. I would go there first so that you're reviewing policies, you're going to the experts who know those policies as well, and they can better guide you on what the next step is.
Crystal, because I always say, right, well, you need to go and what are the 3 key pieces in Google's writings that they should be have you read, make sure that it's, you can only report it if it is this and this. So what do we call those places where we can read that information?
So you mean like the Google Help
The actual guidelines, and if you say them, I think Jenny could maybe put them in the chat so people can then always refer to those guidelines.
Yes, I have that on hand, but since I'm signed in on my device, because I was having
don't do that. We'll add them in later, but that is definitely a place to look, because it can feel very, in your heart as a business owner, you think this isn't fair, but if you actually check the guidelines, that review is that review. So we need to focus on like burying it or responding to it really intelligently. So that's one of the things.
Like some of the main points for civil discourse, but there's like many different categories: harassment, hate speech, offensive content. Then there's deceptive content, which is like a fake encouragement. You've got your mature content that might be contributing or violating that. And then there's dangerous and illegal or restricted content that could be there. And then sometimes it's an information, I think it's called information quality. And so that's when they're off topic, somebody advertising or soliciting something, there's gibberish, stuff that's repeated, that those things are listed in that article. But I also, when I finish, I can come back and post it here too.
So Jenny's just posted the link to the Google review guidelines, but I'm just thinking there's a couple of different pages, aren't there? It's never easy, there's not just one source of truth, we need to read several pieces of information. Dani, have you got anything to add, or shall I move to the next question?
No, let's move on.
You know what? This is. Oh, we've got some suspension excitement here. One of my clients have 2 out of 3 of their Google business profiles suspended, and we are speculating it may have been due to the amount of reviews they received in a short time frame. How can large companies manage getting online reviews without looking spammy and fraudulent?
That's a good question. The only thing I can think of is whatever your natural review velocity is, trying to solicit reviews at the same speed. So if you get 100 reviews a month, send out about 100 or 200 review emails and see what happens and keep going. But I don't necessarily know, which is Crystal might know, if that would necessarily get you suspended. Usually I would think the reviews would just be, not showing up or something like that. So do you have anything to share on that?
I haven't necessarily heard of something getting suspended for that many reviews. So definitely we'll have to look to some other review experts on that one. But I would think go through your info tab, look at your business name. Is it really matching what's publicly reported through the Secretary of State? Just start going through that. Are your hours correct? Are they matching those things as well? And just really look into that to see if maybe there's something off, or maybe you had some suggested edits that were misleading and you might have, said, no, this isn't it. And it triggered a suspension for some odd reason. Kind of take a look at all those options before, and then rule as many out before you can, and then maybe it might be reviews.
Anything else there, Dani?
It's like pulling teeth, but I was able to get an answer when I had a listing suspended, an actual response from Google. But generally they won't tell you why the listing's been suspended, I feel like. So that can be kind of hard to find out from them exactly. So yeah, I would agree with Crystal. I'm not necessarily sure if the reviews would have done that, or there's probably something else going on, but I don't know for sure.
Definitely run through everything. I think I read something about, so I think that velocity in some way, if review velocity is like exponentially outside what they normally get, then I'm sure that does something, because it's like when someone has a negative PR story, and then it gets hundreds and hundreds of reviews from people that are just commenting on the negative PR story, then Google stops putting them live, doesn't it? So the idea of velocity and whether that triggers something algorithmically is quite interesting. Well, to me, if you're really boring and you like things like that. We've got another one. I manage multiple locations for a QSR. What's a QSR?
Quality service representative? I don't know.
Okay, this is a question from Joe. Joe, if you're there, Tell us what a QSR is. We seem to get 1-star reviews from the same person to our various locations. How can I report this, or is there an alternative method to handle this?
It's quick service restaurant.
There we are. Thank you.
I just Googled it.
Thank you, Susan. You all win a prize, which is... and David, thank you. Oh, what do they need to do? Oh, quick service restaurant. What do they need to do?
Yes. So track those reviews, start keeping track of where they're being posted, copy your links, put it all into an Excel spreadsheet, take screenshots, and then BrightLocal in this comment thread posted the Get Help link that you can submit your information to Google through that form to find out if what's happening and if Google will be able to proceed by removing them or what their opinion is.
Yeah, I think it's super important, like you're saying, we have to stress the point of collecting all of the proof and the data. Anything you guys have, like pictures or anything of the reviews, or a link to the suspicious profile that's been leaving them, of course, a link to your Google listing, all of that should be documented somewhere and shared when you're reporting it, because otherwise it's like there's no way to really help and like diagnose the issue. So I think that's, I don't know, is that like a common issue that people don't include that information when they're asking for help on the forum?
Yes.
Yeah.
The common common theme is that we are sitting right next to them, experiencing what they're experiencing, or signed in looking at the dashboard, which we don't have access to. So the more details that you can provide, the better we can support you and the quicker we can support you, instead of having to do a lot of back and forth. Well, can you send me this screenshot? Can you send me this link?
Can I ask a question, Crystal? Would you suggest that they just put everything in a Google Doc and link to that Google Doc? So all the information is just in one place and they can add to it in an iterative way if they haven't got all the details?
Yes, that would be great. Also, make sure the doc is available for the public to view.
Brilliant. All right. Well, that's a top tip, really, isn't it? Is put as much detail as you can in one place before you even share your request in the forum, including if you've already got a, whatever your ID number is for the case or whatever.
Yeah, that's
cool.
very
Cool. This is a question from Scott, and I'm going to ask this to Dani, and it's an interesting angle because I think that he is probably maybe an agency or working with a number of businesses, and he is saying, my question is, how do I get a client to ask for reviews? So I think what he's saying is, how do I get them to understand the importance of reviews and to start actually getting involved in this process?
I guess education is the number one step of educating them and showing them the importance. Comparing to competitors maybe might encourage them. Yeah. And then trying to make it easy. If there's a software or a tool you can subscribe them to, or of course manage on your end, you might just need to ask for an export of their email lists, once a month of their customers, and then, kind of send that off for them. That would be my recommendation because they're not going to do it maybe, right? Yeah. And there's an upsell opportunity there. But I think there might be
a lovely service for you to offer.
Yeah, exactly. Any kind of software that might make that easier, or, text message software. It could be automated where you just connect it to their point of sale system and it sends off a text message asking people after they've made a purchase or something. So there's some automated ways that probably are a good idea.
Cool. And then anything to add there, Crystal?
I definitely like what Dani said. The easier that you can make it for your client, the easier it will be to get reviews.
Yeah. Brilliant. I feel like Devin is saying Google has increased their removal of legitimate reviews. Is there a method to get them reinstated rather than requesting customers to review again? I feel like we've answered that previously. Is that fair? Yeah.
Just reiterating that you would need to ask Google for help. That's all. Sorry, go ahead.
Except it wouldn't be Google. It would be lovely people like
yes, on the Google forum. I'm sorry.
Definitely. It was more just like credit where credit is due.
No, you're right. Yeah.
Giving all of those hours. What have we got here? We've got from Jean-Sebastien. QR code and review links have recently turned useless on Google because 4 times out of 5, they get filtered automatically. Any trick that does not make it harder for the customer to actually leave a review? Wow. Okay, what are we supposed to be using to get the people to the place to actually leave the review? What do we do?
Well, as Crystal mentioned, trying to get them to search for it organically. So maybe the QR code would link to the search results.
You heard it here first. You heard it here, Dani. Basically,
I'm not responsible for this technique. Okay. I'm not going to get in trouble for it.
Yeah. Okay. So why don't you link to the actual search rather than, this is relevant.
Well, it's just an idea to try because if the link you're sharing is a direct link and Google's using that to be, looking for that to see if you're asking for reviews, then maybe that's an opportunity to just link to, Bob's Pizza in Tampa, Florida on Google. That's the search results, right?
Bob's Best Pizza, it's so yummy, Florida.
Or you do like a site search in their site, Yelp.com. So it shows the Yelp result first, like you could kind of do that any way you want. But easier, I can't think of a way that's easier. And did Google change? Because I haven't actually read this. Silly. Did Google change the way that they're allowing people to ask for reviews? Because if they didn't, then why would they start flagging reviews that have been left via the link? Because
they got rid of the personalized link. So if you had no more, but then they've had the short link forever. So Crystal, I'm like, why, if they give you a short link, which you then add a / and review on the end to get the review box? Yeah. Why is this causing a problem?
Yeah, I would think this is just something, maybe because Google's making quite a few changes. You're switching your dashboard more into search, where you can go through and make changes there instead of signing into a specific dashboard. I would assume because the Google Business app is now gone and that's been deleted. Like, as things change, other things break, right? So perhaps it's something that's going on. But also look at what Google is doing.
Yeah.
Google Maps is becoming popular. They're pushing Google Maps. So perhaps we send people to search for your business on Google Maps and leave a review while Google figures out what's going on behind the scenes.
I love that. Do you know what? My head really hurts in terms of, because if you can't work it out in terms of, oh no, when you answer messages, you have to do it from your dashboard. Oh, actually, you're not going to have a dashboard. You have to answer it from the NMXL. You can't do it there. You have to do it in Google Maps. It's just like too many platforms. Has anyone sat together in the same room and discussed how people actually use this product? Anyone? No? Okay. I think we could fix it. We could fix it between the three of us. Focus group. Okay, another question. Can I reuse reviews on my website?
For sure.
Ooh, I remember reading something. Yes, I believe you can, but it has to be a specific way that you're giving credit of where it's coming from. So make sure you're quoting the correct things. You're not changing things. I've seen companies get called out in 1-star reviews of, I've left this 5-star review, but I saw it on your website and it says something different. Like, that was kind of an interesting one.
Okay.
So just make sure you're quoting the correct things.
Yes. I'm just saying to everyone, there's only 10 minutes left and we're getting lots more questions popping in. So if you've got a question, please have a look at the questions that are in the question thingamybobby and upvote any ones that you think are really good, because there's quite a lot of questions and they are good, really good questions. And there's also loads of stuff going on in the chat. So put your questions in the question box. Dani, one for you. I suspect my competitor is paying for fake reviews. What can I do?
Freak out.
Yeah, get cross.
Okay. Well, once again, I think if you can document and show the proof, you might be able to report that to Google. You could flag the reviews first and then report it on the forum. I'm not sure. Is that the process, Crystal? Okay.
Okay. Sign in through where you're looking at your
competitors' reviews and flag them as the viewer, flag it. Then you'll receive a response from Google that's going to say yes, no, maybe so, based on that. I also always encourage you to talk to your agency, talk to who the digital marketing company that you're working with, the reputation management company, those type of things first, because you don't want to put yourself in jeopardy either. So collect the data, but talk to the person that the expert that you're working with through the agency or the reputation management company first.
Yes. And another note too, if you don't have proof, then don't report them, because you might be wrong. So don't be running around reporting stuff and you're just causing drama for no reason. Make sure that you're absolutely sure that that's actually happening before you start messing with somebody else's reputation or their listing.
Yes, great point. Do your homework.
Like, don't just like, I don't like that. I don't think that's real. But which bit? Google are going to say to you, okay, well, which bit isn't real, and what proof have you got? I've just tried to flag someone's review, and I see that like Google is saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's giving me 8 options to choose from, and it's like you need to make sure, is it off topic, is it profanity, blah 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 blah. And then will Google let you know if you flag a review? Then they'll email you.
There's an email response that you receive.
Brilliant. Perfect, thank you. One from Nelson: how do you get Google to remove off-topic negative and positive reviews? I have contacted Google multiple times and they refuse to remove the off-topic negative and positive reviews. I've never had contact with the reviewers that are leaving off-topic negative and positive reviews. Thank you.
Okay, so let's put together the details as far as why, the what, the why, the how you discovered this, and the screenshot. And let's take it here to put it together into a Google Doc so that we can better identify things, put as many links as you can that support your proof. And then let's provide it in the forum so we could better take a look at this. Now, I'm not saying go to the Google forum all the time for your questions. There's some great local U forums. There's some great things there. But I always want to go back and ask your agency, the people that you're working with first, because there might be more details to it that you might not see or that might not understand why Google is not accepting it.
You mentioned you can flag an off-topic review, right?
Yes.
That's one of those categories. So if they flag it as off-topic and then document the proof, right? Our business is about car details and this is talking about sandwiches, we sold them or something like that. Is that an example?
There's that too. Like off top, there's a lot of things with off topic, like Google talks about, and they have quite two paragraphs that they talk about what is off topic, and it's based on the experience, the specific location. But if you don't have some type of hard proof, then how can Google make the decision with what's just presenting, right?
Really, this is Leyland again, who is drilling back into this short URL thing and how do we actually make it easy for our clients to leave reviews. So he's just saying, Dani and Ben speculated that using the short URL you get for your business is going to filter your reviews. And we've said this, why have we got the short URL? And as Crystal said, asking a business to Google your business is like 4 or 5 clicks. Another thing is, if they're searching from somewhere else, they're not necessarily going to trigger an appropriate 3-pack or a knowledge profile. My question, would you endorse making your own short URL to your listing on Google using a URL shortener like Bitly? Because you could do that with your idea of the search query.
Well, the thing is, in that article from Ben, I didn't clarify whether it sounded like it was the short URL that he was talking about in the dashboard. But you can also get the actual link to the listing in the dashboard too. So if you just redirect from A to B anyway, then I think Google would notice that's the same thing, but it could be a good test to try out. Why not experiment
you could try
with
it out.
that?
Yeah, you could use a bit.ly link to the long search query, like URL with all the parameters for all the words that we just said, and see see if that triggers a suspension.
Or
really
I don't know.
Who knows? Dani's going to do an extensive test, and then we'll be writing up the results on BrightLocal next week. So
we could totally do that. Let's talk about it.
Another question: how can we effectively manage a bad review in BrightLocal and transform that on a very good review? Remember, we can't hide or delete any review. Not sure about what this one means, but let's just take it as a generic. What is the best way for a business to effectively manage a bad review? Either of you.
Rather than sending a message, I would suggest to contact the reviewer, talk to them, better identify what's going on. Maybe there's some misunderstanding, miscommunication that could be cleared up. And then when you've earned the right to ask that time, ask them to change their review.
Dani,
I like that. That's perfect.
You must have more to add.
No, you basically, you try to contact them to see what is the issue and if it can be made right. And then, of course, if everything's been successful and they're satisfied, there's nothing wrong with saying, well, now that your experience changed, if you want, you're, welcome to change your review or update it to how you feel currently about us.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you very much. We've got another Yelp one here. I'm going to run through as quick as I can now because we've got like 2 minutes left. Most of our positive reviews on Yelp get hidden, but negative reviews certainly show up. Are we sure it isn't tied to advertising on Yelp? From Sam Husky. He's got his tinfoil hat on here.
I don't know. I've heard lots of theories and stuff. I mean, it's a possibility, but I'm not really that experienced with Yelp like that. So either, all the positive reviews are ones that they've asked for somehow, or they're suspicious profiles, so they're getting hidden. And maybe the negative ones are legit. Not to be insulting, that's the only possibility that I could think of off the top of my head. Or, there's just the people that are leaving the reviews, their profiles must be suspicious for some reason. Or are they also leaving reviews at like a kiosk at the same location in your business location? Is there any more details about the reviews that you could share? Maybe we could give a better answer. But right now, to be honest, I'm not probably experienced enough to answer it.
More information, and someone that likes Yelp needs to answer.
Yes. A Yelper.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, don't know who. Yeah. I have a Google business profile that is incorrect with 1 review, and a Google Maps listing that is correct with 22. It sounds a little bit. So Vicky, both of those listings are 2 different business profiles by the sound of it. They're not 2 different. It sounds like you've got 2 business profiles, because she's saying about a maps listing and GBP, but what it is it sounds like we've got duplicate listings. So maybe Vicky is asking, what is the best way? She's got a 1 review and 22 reviews. How does she merge those? And she wants to keep the one with 22 and ideally add the 1 to it, but let's keep the 22. What does she need to do?
Yes, I would go on Google Maps. I would search for that business, the duplicate listing, click on suggest and edit, and flag it as a duplicate. When you do that, Google will also ask what business is the duplicate. They either give suggestions, or you can type in your business name to find it to link the 2 together.
Brilliant. Do that, Vicky, and hopefully all will be well.
Yeah.
Another question: how can I remove This is photo. That's a photo. I'm not answering that one yet. It's a photo question. Do you have any examples of how you managed to get a 5-star review from someone after they'd first left you a 1-star review? how do you best turn around a bad situation? Have we already covered that, haven't we? Okay, right. Oh,
Mhm.
my competitor is offering free classes not directly related to what they offer. And then they're getting reviews for their business that way. Is that okay?
Ooh, that's interesting.
I mean, I guess it's okay. I don't really know. Like, if they're just they're like a restaurant and they're offering free yoga classes, so people would leave reviews for the restaurant.
Maybe they're actually a restaurant and they don't have
Something
a
like
cooking
that.
school as part of their offering. Cookery
Oh,
school
got
is not their offering, but they're offering pasta classes, getting reviews for their pasta classes, but getting people to add those reviews onto their pizzeria listing.
Yeah.
You know, that's off topic, surely, isn't it? Because it's not the primary product or service.
It's possible, but they offer the free service, so it's technically under their business umbrella. I think it's a creative way to get around it. It's probably, you know, a little unethical, but if you go down the rabbit hole, you can't really prove that that's wrong or bad, and Google probably wouldn't remove those reviews or do anything with them. What do you think, Crystal?
Yeah, I definitely have not seen anything like this come through or have had experience to where it was a free class that was getting 5-star reviews. Maybe their services are listed on their website. They have this class listed as a service under their Google business profile. It might be a product that might be listed somewhere where it's been approved. Yeah,
you can't really like control what services another business offers. Like, they have the right to offer things, but I guess if it's free in exchange for a review, if you could prove that part, then maybe you have something. I don't know. It's interesting.
Last one, because we are over time. This is a question with 3 upvotes. How can I influence what Google shows as review snippets for my business in my business profile?
Well, the only thing I could think of is the keywords and reviews. You know, that's going to help them, but I don't have any other ideas. I can't think of anything right now.
Well, I noticed that when reviewers upvote a specific review, those tend to be favored sometimes. Also, when you go through a very weird way, I figured this out somehow, but when you type in Q&As and you're putting your FAQs in the Q&A section, that populates reviews as an answer. Sometimes it switches as being the one of choice. But I've noticed, based off of your category and based off of the keywords that are in the review, that's the one that normally shows up.
Okay. All right. I think that Google, it's like this is algorithmically selected and you cannot influence it. And it's like, but if we look at in terms of what words people use to talk about our business, it's probably clustering those, isn't it? And then I think there was a thing about that Google was using place topics at one point and I think they do on maps, but they don't on search. So it's different across platforms.
And I also think it depends on what type of keyword, phrase, service was typed in order to find or your business profile.
And if you're worried, let's say it's like a negative review showing up, then maybe collecting more reviews would be a good idea. It would be less likely to show up. That's another opportunity.
You just wonder how often they change it. I often call it a rude word sandwich, like a sandwich, because often it's like a good one, a bad one, a good one. But it depends. But if you're taking screenshots of your business profile once a week, once a month, or daily, you can see if Google changes it. And then you can also see, is it changing my competitors? Has there been some sort of algorithmic update where I'm getting new stuff? Because I'm seeing the same stuff for 3 years for a lot of the businesses I work with. We've got to stop now. That's it. Time is up. Look at
That's it.
Oh my gosh, we're 4 minutes over, and I know
I'm never gonna get that time back.
I love it. I'm so happy. It was so good to talk to you two. feel like they were really good questions, but also they were really good answers.
Yeah, it was a blast. I've never done this before and I was very nervous, but this was really fun. I had a good time.
You were brilliant. I hope that if you've attended, that you have found value and that you have had your questions answered. I hope that if you didn't attend this live and you're watching this as a recording, that's we've provided some sort of level of clarity. If you've still got any questions, then I'm not going to say we'll answer them all in the BrightLocal blog, but I'd be interested to hear what they are. You could send them to any one of us three. We'll take it for the team, won't we? We'll
Yes.
have a think about that. But the biggest thing I need to do now is to thank both of you for your time and for your insight and your cleverness and your loveliness. Thank you for everyone that attended and asked questions. And we will be doing more of these. We are going to do, what have we got coming up? We've got on-site optimization, link building, and more in the coming months. So if you'd like to see any more of this, or you have any topics that are of interest to you, then let us know. So I just need to say a big thank you and goodbye.
Yes, thank you for all the good questions. Everybody did a great job.
Hopefully we can do it again soon.
All right.
Thank you.
Adios.
Bye-bye.